For this tutorial, we will be using the Zorn palette. The Zorn palette that I like to use the most is the one that is composed with just 4 colors, because I don't know you, but there are many kind of variations of Zorn palettes. But the one I like is the most basic, which is black, white, cadmium red, and yellow ochre. What I'm doing in the first stages of this painting, as you can see, is that I always like to start first putting the shadows, the dark colors first. Why? Because when you start putting the dark colors first, when you're painting an eye, it's easier to start interpreting the other colors that you will be putting. For example, the mid-tones and the light tones, which I always save for the last. The brightest brights, always you have to save them for the last. But as you can see, I started with the dark tones, with the darkest tones, so I can map what I will be painting, in this case, the eye. Tip number 2 is that, as you can see, the white part of the eyeball is not white. I try to combine a color, kind of a skin tone, but very bright, very to the white side of the color, but it's not white. So you always have to do that. Don't paint the eyeball white, because you will look so amateur. Just paint it like in a beige, khaki color maybe, and you can start making it whiter, brighter, eventually little by little. But tip number 2, don't paint the eyeball white. Tip number 3, as you previously saw, I started painting more clear colors of the palette in the upper parts of the eye. So that's what I told you. I start first with the dark tones, because that's like a map to me, and then I just go to the brighter areas of the eyes to try to give it, in an early stage of the painting, that 3D look that you must give to your painting. And yes, comment and subscribe please if you're liking this content, and share it with your friends. But yes, little by little you have to build what's the eye with the colors, the darks, the midtones, and the light colors. And as you just saw in the video, I started painting the iris, the pupils, which is something I like to save for the last. That's something that I try to start putting the dark tones of the paint, and with another brush I just start blending the colors, because that's the part that you really want to blend, the iris, the pupils of the eyes, because when you blend it with another brush, that's the part where you can see the realistic look in the eyes, as you can see in the painting I'm doing right now. And now tip number 4, photo reference. For this photo reference, as you've been looking at through the whole this video, it's a picture. I always say to my students, you need to look for pictures that have great reference. In what? Well, in the shadows, in the lights, and in the midtones, because if you don't have a good reference in the shadows, in the midtones, and in the lights, you will get lost. So I took out this picture from this webpage called pexels.com. I'll leave you the link in the description below. And you can go and use those photos, which are copyright free, which is great. You can use them, publish them in your socials, and it'll be great. But tip number 4, don't you forget, try to use photo reference that look clear, high quality, and have a straight difference in between shadows, midtones, and light tones. And finally, the eyebrows, just try to do them with a fine brush. Don't try to do them with any brush, because you will end up having horrible eyelashes. So eyelashes, fine brush. And thank you for looking to this video. Don't forget to subscribe, share it, and see you in the next adventure.